Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of our Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon you and your family this blessed 17th day of September, the year 2019, same as the 18th of Muharram, the year 1441 after Hijrah. Good morning to you wherever you're watching us from. You are right on time for your daily dose of the Sabah Show, where we brighten up your morning before even the sun does. Now, my name is Yusuf Farah, and for the next 2 hours, I will be taking you through our two different segments, that is the newspaper review, and after that, we will have the tech segment. Remember, if you're at home or streaming this live, you can join us in the conversation through our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter handles, that is Horizontv Kenya, and our SMS line 21951. Now, let me head over to my guests in the studio. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You guys are well?
We're well.
I have Sifuna Joseph from the Muranga University, who's an academic minister, and then of course I have Abongo Clinton Ochieng, Secretary General of School of Biological Sciences. Now, let us head over direct into the newspapers and start with the Daily Nation. Page 1, it reads, Ministry clears the air on grade 3 tests. Now, learners will not sit any examination or receive individual scores after assessment. Neither will there be ranking of school based on performing of monitoring exercise. Now, this exercise has been narrowed down to grade 3 students transitioning to grade 4. There will be no test, they'll just be transitioning normally. Is Kenya as a country ready for this kind of transition?
Thank you again and good morning. So to me, on that issue, I think we talked about it on the last session where we were here, where we said that Kenya is not ready actually to be giving exams, national exams to grade 3 students, pupils. It is not wise actually to give examination to grade 3 pupils because, you know, we have differences in teaching and differences in how our children are brought up. And if you want to give an examination to people who are not ready, and because of the new curricula, it is based on technology. What if there are some places where the internet has not reached, and on the technology basis that the students or pupils have not been taught? I think Kenya as a country has moved forward one step for leaving the examination and putting it that all pupils from grade 3 will proceed to grade 4 without the examination.
Mm-hmm. So what should be done before we can say we are officially ready to move to the next?
To move to the new curriculum, actually
based curriculum.
Yes, I think just as I said earlier, or in the last session where we are here, when the Kenya was giving out the new curricula is competence based, and again it is technology based.
Yeah.
So there were some iPads, or rather tablets, which were supposed to be taken to these schools, and the pupils were going to use them for learning. And how do you, I talked about security, I talked about finance. How do you take a tablet to a school where even the school doesn't have a gate, and the windows are used for the same purpose as the door? People get in through the door and people get out through the window. For that reason, I think security-wise, Kenya was not at par, because these things are going to be stolen, and they are going. The teachers are not going to come in saying that they have been stolen or what, and the government will punish teachers for having lost the tablet. And again, on finance, the country is lacking a lot of finance, and providing every pupil with a tablet, I think it is going to be very hard. Okay. So I think it will take some time for us. It is gradual movement. I think it will take some time so that we can move to the new curricula.
Okay, Sifuna, are we ready as a country?
Okay, let me consent to what Abongo has said. I think as a country, we are not yet ready. Because if we are not able to improve the basic requirements as a country, then going to technology, I think it is more we are going quick. We are going quick. So I think what the country should do first is to make sure that these basic requirements of the students in primary and all that should be put in place first before proceeding to technology. Okay, I must say I love the way the Kenya country is in love of advancing, in love of going ahead in matters of technology. But at the same time, they should redefine their steps in a way, in a manner that they unpackage these things to the students and the education at the primary level should be in a way that it is considering these pupils at their basic requirements. For example, like Abongo has said, a class doesn't have doors. The school doesn't have a gate. You see, so these things, if they're not in place, we are saying that technology will not have sense. Because if the teacher comes to class and he finds even the floor of the class is in a mess, because students are sitting down, they don't have enough lockers and so on, why are we going to technology? I think these things should be put in place first before we think of going to technology.
Okay, so fix the small things before moving on to the bigger ones.
Yeah, let's fix the small dots.
All right, now let's move on to the Standard. And this story here, on the headline, Wairimu is saying, "Free me to fight for my property." Wife of slain businessman Tob Cohen wants court to release her on bail to allow her to fight for 400 million shilling house in Nairobi, among other properties. Would the court be right, Abong, to release her despite her facing charges right now, like being a possible suspect?
Yeah. No, I think it will not be right, actually. She is a possible suspect in the murder case. So by releasing her, which means that we are not going to have done, we are not going to have legislated what it should be done, because if she is still in the police custody, she should be there until proven otherwise, or not guilty. But now if she want to be freed, such that this is the problem that we have with the Kenyan government, or rather Kenya as a country. Those who are in high places because of the amount or wealth that they have, think that they can control the country easily. Now, if she is claiming that she want to get outside, that she can go and fight for her property, who told her that is her property actually? What if it was Tom Cohen's property just written in her name? She wants to go.
She's claiming that she co-owns the property.
Yeah, maybe she can claim she has the property, and let's say that the property is hers for now. Then why is the police going to release her, and she's also a suspect? I think that the court order should not be given such that everything is done and is put into place before she is left to go and fight for her property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sifuna.
At here, let me tend to disagree with my friend Abongo. Okay, as far as we are saying that Wairimu is a suspect in the murder of Tob Cohen, we should also consider her rights and freedoms as a citizen. Okay, despite the fact that she is a suspect, I think she should be given a chance or bailed out to fight for what she thinks is hers. At the end of the day, considering all the facts on the table about the investigations and so on, keeping her in custody, I think it won't help anything. I don't see if it's helping anything. Let her go out, fight for what she thinks it's hers. Then when she's proven guilty, I think we have so many DCIs and the police who can bring her back to custody.
All right.
So I think she demands that freedom.
All right. Now, let's move on to the Star, and moving on to matters politics now. The Star headline reads, Kenyatta to skip Mariga's Kibra Jubilee campaign. Now, we saw Mariga being allowed to campaign for the Kibra seat, and now we're saying that Uhuru Kenyatta is going to skip the campaign. Is this a political game, Abong?
Yes. As far as we know that Mariga was being supported by the deputy president, that is William Ruto. And again, in the headlines it is saying that Uhuru Kenyatta wants to skip Mariga. I think the argument is that Uhuru Kenyatta is basing his argument that the deputy William Ruto is now not in one place, in one room as they were, because they are supposed to be going forward as a team. But now the deputy Ruto, the deputy president, also want to vie in the coming election. So he wants to put some people in place to fight for some positions, but Uhuru Kenyatta is saying that is not the best way to go. After the what do you call it? When Mariga was going to contest for the post, we are told that he was not a registered voter, and that is one of the joke that I think that is the best joke we've had in Kenya. Somebody going to vie while he is not a registered voter. Yeah. And again, I think it is well that Uhuru Kenyatta is skipping, but it is also bad because it is a bad image if you are skipping somebody who is sorry, campaigning on the ticket of your party.
Okay. Some people would term this as a battle between the Deputy President and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
But with me, I think actually in Kenya, politics is very expensive. And always we see, while we had the post-election violence, people fought. But in the real sense, those people who are in those positions, they greet each other, have tea. I think we should realize that these people, they are also human beings, and they, most of the times, those people, they don't fight by themselves. They usually have tea and talk while the common mwananchi is left to fight out. I think on that issue, to me, it doesn't make sense, at least.
Okay. Yeah. Sifuna, political games or valid reason for Kenyatta to skip Mariga's Jubilee campaign?
Okay, you know, Kenya, politics is always politics, and it shall always remain politics. So I think, in as much as we think this is not just anything else, I can say it is a political game.
Okay.
This is a political game, because considering all the facts that have been going on, you know, me as a politician, I also love to secure my leverages, people whom I can use so that I can get something that I want ahead of me. Okay. So I think in that line, I should set and tailor my plans in accordance to what I want. So I think this is just a political game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still on that matters politics about the Kibra elections, Taifa Leo, the headline reads, Nitabwaga ODM, Mariga asema. Baada ya kuhurusiwa jana kuwania, asema ana hakika atachaguliwa kuwa mbunge wa Kibera. Abongo.
Just as my friend has said, politics will remain to be politics. Politics is always politics, and politics is expensive as politics. You know, by Mariga saying that he will bwaga ODM, you know, you don't know what the common mwananchi wants. Yes, because they are the people who are going to vote. So if you know that you are going to bwaga, that is just high expectation, and we are always told that we should aim higher, so that even if you hit a little lower, you are better than the person who aimed lower and hit the target. Okay. So I think it's just mind playing the ODM counterpart. Okay. Mariga wants to make sure that he wins the seat, but to me, politics will remain politics, and let the common mwananchi do what is supposed to do.
All right. Sifuna, Imran Koth versus Mariga. Is Mariga a formidable opponent to Imran?
Okay, I may say, you know, me as a politician, for example, let me use this example. As a politician,
yes,
I will never want to pose myself as a weakness. Because the moment I pose myself as a weakness, I'm giving the other opponent a chance to triumph over me. So the best way to do, even if I know I am not able, at least the way I do my things should always suggest that I am able. So I think Mariga, what he's trying to do is just to make clear that he is also able and he can win Imra. So I think that is the whole case that is going on.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it is the citizens and the wananchi of Kibra who are going to decide whom they want as their MP.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, away from that story, moving on to the People Daily, and the headline reads, Police open probe in cyberbullying case. Now, this happened in Consolata, where there was a video clip of a video was released of a boy issuing death threats to fellow pupils, and it went viral on Sunday. Now, cyberbullying in Kenya. Abongo, what can we do to tackle this, as it's a rising problem right now?
Thanks again. We as Kenyans, I don't know where we are going actually as a country. Yeah. If we are now copying whatever is done in America, we are going to be lost. Where I can remember while we were still pupils, or rather students, and even you, while you were a student, there were things, there wasn't anything like threatening somebody online or doing things of the sort. But it is coming. I know we are gradually moving as a country, yes, to the right direction. But also, the internet has posed so many problems, because now a student threatening another student. How do you take that? A student threatening another student, and we have the police. For now, the DCI is taking the case over, and even the police. They should be. This is also supposed to be done to any other person, as opposed to the cyberbullying. But I think Kenya, as we are moving to the right direction, we are also losing it. Okay. Yes, because if now a student can threaten another student. And I think I've had the clip threatening. There are some words that is uttering that are not wise to a student, as a student who is in high school.
Yeah, so we should stop copying.
We should stop copying whatever is done in the America. Those people, I think they graduated so much earlier than us. We gained our independence just in 1960. And with them, they have the 45th president. We are having our 4th president. How do you compare that?
All right, that note from Abongo there brings us to our first break, but don't go too far. When we come back, we're moving away from the headlines and moving into in-depth stories. You are watching the Sabah Show. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
On the next episode,
لا تنقطع الهجرة حتى تنقطع التوبة ولا تنقطع التوبة حتى تطلع الشمس من مغربها. Hijra haikatiki mpaka ikatike toba, na toba haikatiki mpaka jua litoke mashariki. Sasa jua likisha kutoka huko, hata ukitubia hakuna, na roho ikisha kufika hapa, huwa tayari uko kwenye kipindi ambacho ni kigumu.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaba. Welcome to the second segment of the Sabah Show, the newspaper review, and now we're into the in-depth stories, and we'll start with the Daily Nation, page 3, and the story that reads, World's top teacher to address UN forum in New York. Now, we saw this story of this teacher who won the Best Teacher Award, and he came back, he helped people in his community, and now he is going to address a congregation in New York. Abong, how important is it to motivate our teachers to do better, to be better, and also to try and vie for such positions?
Personally, to some extent, I always view myself as a motivational speaker. Yes, what teachers Tabachi has done is a recommendable job, because by giving his 80% of his salary to the locals, and even to for schooling some pupils and even students, it's a move towards the right direction. And not most of the teachers will think on the same note. And for now, that he has won, you will see so many issues that another teacher is also wanting to start giving out his or her salary to the people and helping. Teacher Tabachi did it, and he's still going to do it, because if he is now going to address a conference in the United States, that is a move towards the right direction. I think Teacher Tabachi is doing us great good, and is going to hold the Kenyan flag high as he is going to address the nation.
Okay, Sifuna, what lessons can we learn from Teacher Tabachi?
Yeah, Teacher Tabachi he has done a great job, a worth commendable job. And I can say contrast kudos to him. Okay. But now, okay, I think you'll allow me to go in depth about this matter. And as I review our country, Kenya at large, I think I'm not happy, I'm dissatisfied by the way at times the government treats our teachers. I'm not happy about that, because we find the basic people who bring up everyone and groom up everyone to become or grow into his or her profession is the basic teacher, where you started learning up to campus where I am. He's a teacher all the way through. He's the one who will introduce you to life, the one who will introduce you to many things that you see, and he will motivate you and inspire you. But then, what happens if the government itself, it is demotivating to the teachers? I think that is not the route to take. We are having so much complaints about delayed salaries for the teachers and so on. Okay, what kind of image are we portraying to the upcoming teachers who are in high school and campuses, people who are teaching as their career? I think it will demotivate them. Some will not feel worthy to become a teacher. Like being a teacher by profession is like even nothing you've done. So I think the government should try as much as possible to motivate these teachers so that they follow the example of Teacher Tabachi. Okay. So the government should try. Commendable to Teacher Tabachi.
All right, good job, Teacher Tabachi, right there from Sifuna. Now, still on page 3, a story on a rare zebra found in Mara Reserve. There is a picture of a zebra that was born a few weeks ago, spotted and photographed by Malta tour guides, and it's a rare zebra. And how important is it, Abongo, for us to safeguard these rare animals that are found in our country as far as tourism is concerned?
Yeah, so in tourism, actually we've had a lot of people coming to the Masai Mara and even other game reserves. We have foreigners coming to the areas, mostly the tourists. I think we should always protect what is ours. For now, we are seeing a rare type of zebra that has been born in the Mara Reserve. It should be taken care of, and in fact, I think the government should chip in by through the Kenya Wildlife Services. These animals should be kept, should be taken care of as much as it is possible, because for this one zebra, it can bring a lot of tourists to the country, and this will be giving us more of the revenue to the country. So I think what is ours, what is rightfully ours and what is truly ours, we should be taking care of. But not only the rare zebra. Why is it coming that now we want to take care of our animals because we've had a rare zebra given birth to? I think this should have been done much earlier. We should take care of our animals such that, for example, the Kenya Wildlife Services should bring more security personnel so that we don't have cases like poaching and everything that is being done to our animals. I think, to me, we should be protecting, and in fact, the government should chip in most of the cases in protecting our animals.
Right, now let's move on to page 10. Gender-based violence inhibits women's success. Now it says gender-based violence against women at the workplace has been identified among the inhibitors for women succeeding in their jobs. Sifuna, what do you think about this?
Gender biasness, I think Kenya is, we have reached a point where we should get over these things and see one another as, because whether you are a lady or a gent, you stand an equal chance to succeed and lay your foundations right. You stand an equal chance. So if what, recently they say what a man can do, a lady can do even more better. And I think we should stand out and protect our ladies. We should stand out and fight against this gender biasness, because at the end of the day, we are all equal and we stand a chance to succeed in every way. So we should build ourselves with the right morals that we were raised up with. Let's stop this thing of wanasema Waswahili wanasema ubabedume. I think it's a point where Kenya we should get over this and become people who are more mature.
Okay. Yeah. Maturity. Yes.
Yes, I want to concur with my friend. But we say that we are talking about gender parity. it has been a discussion from time immemorial. But I think we have, in the government, we have the 2/3 of members to represent, that is to majorly to consider the gender parity. And the girl child has been empowered too much that the boy child has been left in some cases for now. If you can see, even in the high schools, in the secondary schools, there are more students who are ladies than the men, according to some statistics.
Now, demographics.
Yes, but the ladies have been empowered. Now, if they are crying that gender parity there, why we have people who are like the Juakali people, those who do like Mjengo, for example.
Yeah. We
we have so many men in Mjengo more than the ladies. Ladies are crying for the 50%. Why don't they go for the chances so too to do the 50% so that we can have 50 men and 50 women. The ladies are crying for gender parity. I think as a country we've gone far in gender parity issues. Actually, for now, the ladies, as we are empowered them, they are even more getting more immune to the gender parity. For the last time we had the 2/3, and now they want 50-50. What about after 50-50? We'll have the ladies wanting 70-30. Yes.
Okay. Before we proceed, Clinton, I think what we should try to understand is, okay, as much as we are saying that the women are much more empowered, you know, that is at the top. That is at the top. But what are we doing at this bottom line? You know, at the bottom line is where all these things are coming, not at the top. At this bottom line is where we should set our things right. At the beginning of it is where these things are coming up from.
From the grassroots levels.
Yeah, the grassroots levels.
All right, now let's move on to page 11 of the Daily Nation. Sifuna, the headline reads, Hopes deem as elderly not able to access free medical services. NHIF says delay of funds from Treasury has hampered efforts to serve seniors. Now, you grow up as a person, you keep paying the amount that NHIF requires each month, but then you've grown old and now you cannot access medical services and you're not the one to blame. What corrective measures should be put in place?
Okay, Bwana Yusuf.
Yes.
I think we as a country, it has reached at a point where everything now is becoming bad. Everything now is becoming bad.
Yeah.
In terms of matters like health and so on, sanitation and so on. Okay, when we say that you're paying your monthly of the NHIF, the monthly payments, you're making your payments, and you expect this money to help you when you're grown and you're an elder, to help you when time of need. But now, at such cases when money is lacking and you've been paying, okay, the main question here comes, where is this money going? Where is this money going? And if I'm told that corruption has become a route into defrauding the integrity of the NHIF services, then as a country, what can we do to make sure that all these people get what they deserve? Because if we are keeping on saying that money is not available, and yet we are having so many people who are squandering or embezzling the funds and pocketing them into their own pockets, I think that is not the way we should do it. Okay. Because you say money is transferred from one industry, taken to the other industry, only to be embezzled. Okay, you are using money from this economy to sustain this economy, but in between here, the money is being embezzled. Okay, I love what the President Kenyatta is doing. He's trying so much to ensure that he eradicates all these scandals that are rising up. He's trying so much. I can say thank you so much. He's trying. But then we as a country, we should strike to have that morals that we had earlier on. Because if as a country we are having leaders, we are having people whom we have entrusted them in helping us and securing what we have been planning. Okay, we have been giving out our money, we have been making our payments to the NHIF and so on, and we are trusting this money to help us in future. Then, if we trust you with this responsibility, kindly be also a trustworthy person and deliver to us. And if there is a problem, kindly communicate. But then, at times you find that the government stakeholders are cooking up excuses that don't have it, that they don't even have any sense in it. So I think the government should also try as much as possible to ensure that the common mwananchi, who is making it so hard to secure his life ahead, yeah, he's compensated very well.
All right. Let's move on now to page 12, Clinton. Yeah. Kenya's white gold How neglect killed pyrethrum farming. Now, growing up, I believe you saw pyrethrum in social studies, one of the subjects that we learned. And now we're seeing that it's been neglected to a point that pyrethrum farming is slowly fading away. Should we be scared as a country of what the future holds as far as our agricultural sector is concerned?
I think we should be even more scared than you are saying we should be scared.
Yeah.
Because actually in the 1980s or 90s, pyrethrum was the gold, as we call it. It was the gold of Kenya.
Yeah.
And now it has deteriorated and it has been neglected. Why? I think what is lacking in this place is, for example, the agricultural procedures that is being used for pyrethrum. We know that as an agricultural student, you know that when you plow a land for several times and use the same type of plant for the several times, it won't do well. For example, if you are using a pyrethrum and it has deep roots which gain the nutrients from deep down the ground. What if you use the same land for several years? It will not do well. And again, the practices that are agricultural practices are not being done well. Plowing of the land, preparation of the land, then weed control, to pest control and everything. There is a wholesome problem that is occurring in agricultural perspective. So I think we should go back and know, for example, the government should we have agriculturalists in the government and even the peers for agriculture. He knows that this land should be, they should do we call it the soil analysis, so that you know that this soil is good for this plant and this soil is good for this plant. And for example, in the pyrethrum, it was our major goal, and for now it has been neglected, and it was majorly grown for the export purposes. Now we don't have anything that we're exporting. We should do our agriculture very well so that the agricultural practices are done in the right direction, and the sensitization of the farmer. He should be told that, because if a farmer doesn't know that I'm supposed to plow this land to this depth and also to do the weed control to this depth, there is uncontrolled weeding and the uncontrolled pest control. I think the government should sensitize the farmers on how to do the agricultural, more so in the export sector.
Okay, very informative point there. Now let's move on to the Standard, page 3. A sad story here, really. The agony of living with son haunted by Somalia battle. Now, the KDF is being accused of neglecting one of their own. This is 30-year-old son battling mental illness after deployment in Somalia. Now, Sifuna, how important is it as a country to follow up with our soldiers in the army after someone coming from there, counseling them, dealing with depression and everything?
It is so important, very important. I think that is the thing that should be given, Waswahili wanasema kipaumbele. Yeah, it should be on the stand and on the it should be capitalized even more than anything else. Because me as a parent, I have trusted you with my son, and I have taught my son since he began going to school. I have brought him up, going all through those pain and of paying the school fees and so on, and I trust you with my son so that he can work for you. But then, if you return my son when he's not well, how do you think I'll feel as a parent? Like, I give you my son, you use him, and you dump him. Like, you're using him for the sake of achieving your purpose, and you're not helping me. I think we should try to strike a balance between I help you, you help me. We both live as Kenyans. So I think it is very important for all these departments involved to make a clear follow-up on people whom they have in their enrollment to work for them. They should provide, if it is health-wise, they should provide for them. If it is rehabilitation, they should provide for them. Like in this story, the guy is even a threat to the family, because you find that he nearly killed his brother. He stabbed his brother in the abdomen and nearly killed him. So I think the government should consider putting in place some measures that can help to counter these kind of cases.
All right, Sifuna, they're saying the government should stop neglecting the soldiers. Now, on that note, we'll take another break. But when we come back, get this. Increased pupil enrollment has taken a toll on sanitation. Stay tuned for that. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
The Messenger of Allah said, whoever says when the morning comes, رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبًّا وَبِالْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا وَبِمُحَمَّدٍ نَبِيًّا, meaning, I am pleased with Allah as the Lord, and with Islam as a religion, and with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a prophet. Then I am the guarantor that I will take him by his hand until I put him into Jannah.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. Welcome to the final segment of the newspaper review with my panelists here, Abong and Sifuna. And before we went on the break, we had this story. Increased pupil enrollment has taken a toll on sanitation, and most public schools in the county do not have enough toilets, with learners forced to queue to access the few that are available. Now, I mean, the toilets are lessening. We have less toilets, and we have more students being enrolled thanks to the free education and the 100% transition from primary to secondary. But where have we failed as a country in terms of sanitation?
The first thing, actually, when even you are building a home, is always you first build a toilet.
Okay.
We've had an increasing number of students or other pupils to schools, and we are all entitled to education, as we know. So I think this thing doesn't even go as a country. I think that the school management is not doing our students the better part of sanitation how it should be, or health. Because if you are going to a school, you've been enrolled to a school, and I think even the public health officers, what are they doing? Because if you have some school which does not have a toilet, and I heard that the pupils were queuing, or rather queuing to the toilet. If you are enrolling the number of students, if you are expecting a high number of students, then we should also put other things in place. For example, if you want to enroll 1,000 more students to a secondary school, and you don't have a dormitory that will, and it is a boarding school, and you don't have a dormitory that will accommodate all the students, it is always a rush idea that you first make a dormitory, and then you accommodate the students. But for now, this case, health is something that is very paramount, and it is very basic. And I think even health-wise, it is something that is conventionally accepted by all Christians and even every person. Health-wise, you have to, because you are living, you have to be healthy, yes. But now, in this case, that we don't have a toilet, and I'm very sorry that I lost a friend because of cholera. Now, in this case, that we don't have a toilet in a school, how do you expect us to live?
Okay. Let's move on to the Star now, page 11, Sifuna. Beware of bogus home testing HIV kits on sale. Now, survey shows non-approved kits are being brought in from South Africa and China. I mean, imagine buying a kit because you want your privacy, and then going home and testing and finding out that you're positive, only to go to the doctor and the doctor to confirm that you're negative because the machine that you are using is fake stroke bogus.
I think this is much more dramatizing. I think, how can you this is something, this is health we are talking about.
Yeah.
This is health we are talking about. We are gambling with life. We are gambling with life here. Now, in the first place, how do even these equipments pass through the border of Kenya and even go to the common mwananchi? How are they coming in? And if we say it's because of the negligence of the persons responsible, then what is the government doing in this? Because this is much more absurd even to think of. This is health we are talking about. If I test, I am positive, I go to the hospital, I'm negative. Or if I test, I am negative, only to realize I'm positive. This is health, and it may bring my life down because I'm not much responsible. I'm not early, I've not been told or been confirmed early that I have this disease. So I'll still live thinking that I'm negative, but I'm positive. At the end of the day, I fail to plan myself, because if you contract this disease, it is always very necessary for you to start planning for your life, because this is a disease you'll stay with, and it will finish you. You know, that is the truth. It will finish you. So you'll have to plan for yourself as early as possible. If you are a parent, you know how you'll cater for your kids in the life coming.
Okay.
But then if you find that the information you had from the kid is wrong, which means you fail to plan, and failure to plan is like planning to fail. You leave your family and all those people who depend on you without anything. And that is so bad. I think we should take serious when it comes to health. We can gamble with anything else. We can gamble with money, anything else, phones and anything else. But when it comes to health, I think we should be serious with this.
Okay, and Clinton, Kenya has been one of the markets that receives these China phones. You see, we have regular material, and then we have the fake ones. But now we're seeing it being narrowed down all the way to a health kitty. I mean, what is happening to us?
I'm not even now happy of talking about as a country we are failing, because we have now failed.
Okay.
On issues of health, you start gambling with somebody's life. My friend, I've used the bogus kit. I think if you can see it, I've used it once. Actually, the first impression that thing gives is always you swapped it and then you do the test. The first answer that usually comes is that there is a line that is continuous to the end, which means that the test is not accepted. Now, if you don't have a test that is accepted, your mind has changed. Again, then you have a test that is bringing now positive, and then going to the hospital, you get a negative. What is the Ministry of Health doing? And just as Sifuna said, how does these things pass through the borders coming into Kenya? Because if you now, we've gambled, the permanent secretary for Interior Affairs even closed down the gambling companies like we call the Betika and everything. Now, if you can close the gambling companies and then you start gambling with somebody's life, does it make sense? Even to you personally, does it make sense that we are gambling with somebody's life? I think we've failed. Now, in this case, we are not even failing as a country. We've failed. Because if we can gamble with people's lives, and mark you, I'm a student of biological sciences, and I'm doing microbiology basically. I did my attachment in an hospital. If you want to gamble with somebody's life, please, don't try it with health. Just telling somebody that you have, for example, you have a malaria parasite and actually doesn't have it. Do you know what? You will take drugs. First of all, you will take drugs. And taking a lot of drugs brings resistance. Now, if somebody tests himself or herself and gets HIV positive or HIV positive in this case and goes for ARVs, and then you take a lot of ARVs to an extent that you are even becoming resistant, because the ARVs also changes by time. Now you become resistant to this type of drug, and you are not even positive. What if you are positive and you want to use the same drug? The virus will have been resistant to and jumping here and there for no reason. I think the Ministry of Health should take a forefront in this case, because if we are getting things from outside the country that are bogus and because we are always have China phones and original phones. Please use China phone, but not China kit for this case, because you will die.
Okay.
As a country, we failed. I think.
Still on matters health and sanitation, page 26 of the Star reads, dump site sewage endangers the lives of Machakos villagers. Official says the residents and the landlords have resisted the efforts to solve the problem. Now, there's a picture here of a dump site, and it's endangering the lives of the locals there, but a landlord is resisting the effort to solve the problem. I mean, is this like a selfish move or what, Sifuna?
Now, even I think here it's like now a selfish move, because you know, this still health matters. And like I said before, health should never be gambled with. Now, if this dump is affecting, is affecting the lives of those people around, these diseases are going to be contracted to the people around, and it's going to be something like a health tragedy. Now, if we fail to remove or take care of this dump, it's going to result into something else, and that something else is gonna make us pay for it. Now, if health matters arise, it means we'll have to invest in healing ourselves. And that means we are incurring an extra cost of which it could be avoided by simply taking out this dump. So I think this is something that is selfish, and it should not happen. Okay. It should not happen.
All right.
I think it is in the Machakos County.
Yes.
And Machakos County for some time back had been named for being the best county in cleanliness and everything.
Yeah.
How does this come out? Has Alfred Mutua relented on what he is supposed to do? I think actually, but we can say that he's doing a good work. But for the landlord who is refusing that the dump site cannot be removed from that place, gambling with life will talk it about. In fact, everybody will talk about gambling with life. It is not wise to gamble with life. For example, if you have the dump site there, and you know how cholera is being transmitted, it will take what if the housefly takes it from that place to your food, and then to another person's food, to another person's food, and it is a circle that will happen nearly in that area. And you know what is happening in Kenya as per now? We are incurring a lot of costs for taking the people who are in the governmental officials to outside country to be treated for cancer. What if now we have a serious problem in the ground? That the mwananchi has to also go outside in the country. The Machakos County government, I think it has gone far as health is concerned, but they are still failing. I think the country governmental officials in that county should see into this matter, because we are going to lose a lot of people just because of the negligence of a landlord.
All right. Page 27 of the Star reads, leaders cite bias in upholding Rasta laws. Now, the Muslims are deeply offended by the High Court decision that Rastafarism is a religion just like any other, and it's ought to be respected. Now, we saw the Rastafarians, they were allowed to keep their locks. But at the same time, the thing is, we have Muslims who are having issues wearing the hijab in institutions. So, Clinton, double standards or what?
Okay, I think it should be a fair. It should be fair. Because if you allow this, allow the other. I think this is just a matter of understanding and living togetherness and accepting the culture of someone. If someone wants to impress his or her own culture and the way they do their things, I think we should allow them, because there's no need of pressing so much on someone, and yet that is his culture or her culture. Yeah. So I think it should be fair.
It should be fair.
Fair.
Clinton?
How I wish I could not be giving my opinion on this, but on the same, if you accept that the Rasta locks can be used, for example, now if you use a Rasta in a public office, you keep your Rastas in a public office, and then you deny, on the same note, you deny a Muslim from putting on, what do we call it? The
hijab.
The hijab.
Yeah.
What are you showing the people? That there is people who are minority who have been neglected. But on the same note, we want everybody to be at par. We always, in primary schools and secondary schools, we always use the uniform as a symbol of unity or uniformity. But for this case, if you don't want to allow this one subject and you allow the other subject, then you are biased. I think if they are accepting, then they should accept in all, for every person. Because
it should be in unison.
Yes, in unison. For a Muslim, he should be putting on what she or he is supposed to be putting on, then we will allow a Rasta. Then what, for example, and on the same case, we are even going to have so many problems in the offices. Because if you say that somebody can put the dreadlocks, and again then you have a person who has put a dreadlocks, that is, it is not dreadlocks, but he is like, it is in a funny way. We are not going to be presentable, actually. In a governmental office, you should be official as possible. But on the same note, if it is going to be allowed, then everybody should be allowed to do what he or she should be doing.
All right, one final story on the Business Daily as we wind up. Clinton, first class graduate, this is page 15, first class graduate peels livelihood from bananas. I mean, what does he say about the employment numbers in Kenya?
Okay. Now, you know, when you go to school, you trusting that at the end of my education,
yes,
I'm gonna get something that is going to help me build my future responsibly. But then, if the future of your education is not promising, I think it reaches a point where it is demotivating and discouraging. But then, if let's say if they are not there to help you secure your future in education, okay, what are you gonna do as a person? What are you gonna do as a person? I think I'll attack this in-depth story by saying that we as youth and the people who are at school, we should try to think of ourselves even outside education. You know, they always say that education is the key to success, but today, let me say, knowledge is the key to success. What you are learning is the one that will help you to succeed. So,
okay, very quick, Clinton.
Yes, I would like to comment on that. I think all of us have gone to an institution of higher learning, and you know how hard it is to get a first class, or rather to finish even a university. Because we have issues with fees, we also have issues with doing the project, and you don't finish your project in time, everything. And now you get a first class degree holder peeling bananas for life. How have we gone as a country? Unemployment rate is very high in Kenya. That one we know for the youth. And I think this is an issue that should be taken very. There was another student who had a first class who was doing what was he doing? He was also doing another job, a casual job, but the government intervened. But for now, this student is peeling bananas. Why should the government not intervene? I think as youths also, we should think on a different direction. We always say, as you come from home while you are a pupil, I always say that if you are coming from home, going to school and to secondary and then advancing to institution of higher learning, all of this is only to make sure that in the near future you can provide the basic needs for your family. But in this case, the person is doing a job that is giving back to the family. But what about what he has done? He has learned in the school. We have so many good brains that are going to lose in Kenya. Okay. And I think for the people who are in the governmental officials, those who have even retired and still in the offices, what are they holding in the office? They should give room for the youth to come and occupy because actually it is gradual. As per now, as the world is advancing, then we also advance mind-wise. So when
we say the government needs to step to pull up their socks.
Yeah, they need to pull up their socks so much. Because
okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, because of time, I'll have to catch you there. Thank you very much, Clinton. Thank you very much, Sifuna. Now that brings us to the end of the first segment. But don't go too far, because when we come back, Tech Tuesday begins. But before we go on the break, I'd just like to give a shout out to my Instagram who are watching: Alfred Owanjohi, Najma Swale, and my sister Tausi from Riara University. Stay tuned. This is Tech Tuesday. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Bye.